Welcome back to the channel where we explore everything about crisis management and operational resilience. If you tuned in before, you know how vital it is to be prepared for the unexpected. Today, we're diving into crisis response and recovery, specifically focusing on crisis leadership and decision-making, the response protocol, recovery management, and addressing employee concerns during a crisis. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how to lead through a crisis, make the right decisions under pressure, and help your organization recover stronger than ever. Let's jump in. The first pillar we're tackling is crisis leadership. During a crisis, strong leadership isn't just important, it's essential. But what exactly makes good crisis leadership? In a crisis, the stakes are high, emotions can run wild, and there's no time for hesitation. This is where effective decision-making becomes the differentiator. As a leader, you need to remain calm, rational, and focused, guiding your team through uncertainty with confidence. Crisis leadership boils down to a few key principles. 1. Clear decision-making. A leader must make decisions quickly, but with careful consideration. This doesn't mean rushing into decisions, but it does mean avoiding analysis paralysis. The situation may be chaotic, but strong leaders trust their instincts and their expertise of their team. 2. Adaptability. Things don't always go according to plan. A crisis is unpredictable, and leaders must be flexible enough to adjust the response as new information comes in. 3. Empathy. A leader who understands the human element of a crisis can build trust and motivate their team. Empathy helps leaders stay grounded while making tough choices. 4. Communication. The ability to communicate clearly, both within the organization and to interested parties, is perhaps the most important leadership trait during a crisis. Transparency is key to managing expectations and reducing uncertainty. So, how can you make sound decisions during a crisis? Start by ensuring you have the right people around you. Rely on your crisis management team to provide insight and expertise. Don't make decisions in isolation. Collaborate with your team and keep the decision-making process as data-driven as possible. Now that we've covered leadership, let's talk about the crisis response protocol. This is the operational backbone of how you act when a crisis unfolds. When a crisis hits, it's critical to follow a pre-established protocol that clearly defines the who, what, when, and how of the response. Your response protocol should be built around speed, precision, and clarity. Here are the typical phases of crisis response. 1. Initial activation. As soon as a crisis is identified, the response must be activated. The first thing you need to do is assess the situation, establish the level of threat, and activate your crisis management team. Early warning is crucial, and quick action can prevent a small issue from spiraling. 2. Assessment and prioritization. This is where you need to get a clear picture of what's happening and determine the immediate actions needed. What's the scope of the crisis? Which areas of your business are affected? Prioritize tasks based on severity and impact. 3. Mobilization of resources. After assessing, you need to deploy the resources necessary to manage the crisis. This could include activating emergency services, reallocating personnel, or securing equipment. 4. Ongoing response and communication. As the crisis continues, maintain regular updates with all interested parties. Keep employees, customers, and suppliers informed. Constant communication is key to staying on top of the situation. 5. Crisis stabilization. This phase involves actively managing the crisis and stabilizing the situation. The goal is to prevent further escalation and ensure that your team is equipped to handle the crisis in the short term. A crisis response protocol isn't something you just write down once and forget. It needs to be practiced, refined, and adapted to real-world situations. Conduct regular drills, tabletop exercises, and simulations to ensure that your team is always ready to act. Once the immediate crisis is under control, it is time to shift focus to recovery management. This phase is often overlooked, but it's just as important as the response. Recovery is where organizations can either rebound stronger or falter. Recovery isn't just about picking up the pieces. It's about coming back smarter, more resilient, and more prepared in the future. Here's how to manage recovery effectively. 1. Damage assessment. The first step in recovery is assessing the full extent of the damage. What were the direct impacts on operations, assets, and people? Identify what was disrupted and prioritize recovery efforts accordingly. 2. Resuming operations. Once you know the damage, focus on resuming critical operations. This may involve temporarily shifting business processes or allocating resources differently to ensure that your most vital functions continue running. 3. Communication during recovery. Keep interested parties informed about your recovery process. Transparency during this phase is crucial to rebuild trust. Employees and customers need to know that you are actively working on getting things back to normal. 4. Post-crisis evaluation. After recovery, evaluate the response and recovery efforts. What went well? What could be improved? This step is key to improving your crisis management capabilities moving forward. 5. Implementing resilience measures. The ultimate goal of recovery is not just returning to normal, but bouncing back better. Take the lessons learned from the crisis. Implement measures that improve your resilience. This could involve strengthening processes, training, or investing in new technologies to mitigate future risks. A strong recovery isn't just about fixing the damage. It's about learning, adapting, and building long-term resilience to future crises. During a crisis, one of the most pressing concerns for any organization is how to address employee concerns. Crises can be incredibly stressful for employees, and how you handle their concerns can make or break your organizational culture. Here's how you can support your employees during a crisis. 1. Open communication. The more transparent you are, the better. Share updates regularly, even if the news isn't positive. Employees will appreciate knowing what's happening, even if it's just to say, we're still assessing the situation. 2. Mental health support. A crisis can take a huge toll on employee morale. Providing resources such as counseling, mental health days, or access to support services. Prioritize employee well-being. 3. Clear guidance. Employees need clear instructions on what to do, whether it's remote work protocols, safety measures, or new roles during the crisis. Ensure that employees have a clear understanding of what's expected of them. 4. Empathy and recognition. Finally, remember that your employees are humans first. Show empathy, recognize their efforts during the crisis, and remind them of their value to the organization. A little recognition goes a long way during difficult times. Effective crisis response and recovery are all about strong leadership, clear protocols, efficient recovery strategies, and addressing employee concerns with empathy and transparency. By following these steps, you can ensure your organization not only survives a crisis, but comes out of it stronger and more resilient. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on crisis management and operational resilience. Have a question? Drop it in the comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, stay confident, stay resilient, and be ready to tackle whatever comes your way.